Okay everybody, welcome back to another episode of Surrounded by Bourbon with me, Phil Crawford, aka Causeway Whiskey. This is episode 22 and today we are looking at something from Benromach. This is their 2014 vintage Cask Strength Batch 3 and yeah, a Speyside single malt Scotch whiskey, and possibly not a distillery that many people have heard of. So Benromach are owned by Gordon and MacPhail, who may well be better known as independent bottlers. They're probably one of the most famous independent bottlers of Scotch whiskey in the world, but as it turns out, they've always had ambitions to actually become distillers. That very nearly happened in 1950 when John Urquhart made a bid for Strathisla, but subsequently he was thwarted by Seagrams, who paid £1,000 more than he offered for Strathisla. Now, patience is obviously one of their virtues, because fast forward to 1993, so a full 43 years, and the Urquharts finally had their distillery. They bought the mothballed Benromach distillery in Forres in Speyside. Now, they didn't immediately go into production with that distillery, rather they spent another 5 years actually reconstructing and refurbishing the distillery, installing new equipment, and the whole thought process was that they wanted to distill the old style Speyside Scotch, which meant the use of peat. So in fact, pretty much all Benromach production is now peated, using single malt that is, or using malt that is peated to about 12 to 14 parts per million of phenols. So sort of to the light to medium of peated whiskies. Now the core range features a 10-year-old, a 15-year-old and a 21-year-old. These are all bottled at 43% ABV or 86 proof, and then they also, as of now, have a yearly cask strength vintage. They also have their own contrast range where they kind of get a little bit more experimental, so they'll use organic grains, heavily peated malt, different types of oak, and there is actually even an unpeated malt version of the contrast range. Now, not content with having one distillery to play around with, the people of Gordon MacPhail have also founded the Cairn Distillery, which is also in Speyside, but is designed to produce a much lighter style of malt, and it is also going to be unpeated in contrast to the heavier, oilier Benromach that is peated. Now, they kind of shocked the whiskey world a bit in 2023 whenever they said that they would no longer be filling new casks as independent bottlers from 2024 onwards, and that they were going to deplete their existing stocks of whiskey until they run out, because instead the company now wants to focus on building its single malt brands at Benromach and the Cairn. So, I mean, this is probably going to take decades before Gordon MacPhail completely disappears off shelves, but it is kind of sad. Although, to be fair, in the world of independent Scotch whiskey, there are plenty of other people who have stepped in over recent years to fill that breach. So let's talk about the bottle that we have in hand today. As you can see, there is not much left of this, so I have been kind of enjoying this. So this is the 2014 Cask Strength Batch 3. It is 60.6% ABV or 121.2 proof. It is non-chill filtered. It is natural colour. It's 9 years old and it is matured in a combination of first fill ex bourbon and first fill ex sherry casks. What the ratio is, we don't know. I mean, it's not a hugely dark colour, so it's not a total sherry bomb. This cost me in my local Total Wine $70 or around £52, or that would make it just about €60. So pretty decent value for money. So let's just get into the nose and the palate and let's see where this Benromach takes us. So the first thing you get on the nose with this is there's a definite funk to this. It's there's like lactose, there's beef stock cubes, there's rancio, there's dark dried fruits like dates and prunes. Also a very healthy dose of French polish in here as well. Then you get caramel, there's licorice, black currants and blood orange, and then that peat smoke. Yeah, so let's get into the palate before we add water. So let's see. Okay, so the ABV makes itself known. It's a little hot on the first sip. Still has a very good oily mouthfeel though. And the savouriness of the nose definitely comes through again. There's honey glazed ham, there's cinnamon, there's clove, even a bit of bone broth going on there. Take another sip and let's see how we get on. It's rich, it's mouth-filling. The smoke comes through now, but it gives way then to stewed apples and pears and red wine. There's oak spice, there's caramel, there's nutmeg. But it's that savoury aspect as well that keeps coming back. Like just really meaty barbecued pork. Really good stuff. Sorry, I have to go and take another sip. This is very nice indeed. There's even a slight Dr. Pepper character to this as well. So it's like, it's everything going on here. It's sweet, it's savoury, it's smoky. I wouldn't say it's salty, but there's definitely umami kind of things going on, like that bone broth in the background. Alright, so let us add some water, and I will probably be kind of quite judicious with the water actually, because it is pretty high ABV. So I think this can take a few drops. Let's see. All right. And give that a little second. So straight away, even with the water, there's a menthol and cough medicine kind of like Covonia, which we get in the UK. I'm not sure what the equivalent would be here in the US. There's sweet black espresso in here as well. A little touch of plasticine, and also the smoke has become more pronounced. Okay, so let's go in with the palate again now with the water. Okay, so now this is sweetening things up a little bit. We're getting butterscotch now. There's more black licorice. There's even a hint of Kendal mint cake. It's a very UK thing. Really nice. So minty, sweet. And just a little hint of rubber as well. That gets so well balanced. This never gets super sweet. So they've done a really good job putting this together. And there's still those kind of woody spices, even with the water. There's raw ginger as well. So it kind of keeps on evolving over time, adding a little bit more water, lots and lots of complexity to this. Finish wise, so finish, it is definitely medium in length. There's plenty of wood smoke, there's spice, there's caramel, there's dry fried mushrooms, that kind of umami thing going on as well. This is just a lovely, lovely whiskey. Score, how am I going to score this? I'm going to score this an 8 out of 10, which I believe is the highest mark I've given so far. So I'm quite glad that we're starting to hit some of the high notes of the scoring range. So why do I think that? Honestly, the Benromach core range is a very high quality range of single malts. However, at 43% ABV or 86 proof, I've always thought they're a little underpowered. That complaint is very much satisfied with this dram. This is a savoury monster, and frankly it is stupidly good value for money here in the US. And if anybody can find this in Total Wine or wherever for 70 bucks, I wholeheartedly recommend that you buy a bottle of this. Especially anybody who's a Macallan drinker, stop wasting your money on that stuff and go and explore something like this. Even if you're spending 80 bucks on a Glenlivet 15 or Glenfiddich 15, whatever, put those on the shelf please and buy this. This is absolutely fantastic. Would I recommend it for a beginner? Possibly not. I would maybe say explore the 10 and the 15 before you get this. They're widely available here anyway in Florida. I think the 10 is 50 bucks, the 15 I think might be 70 or 80. But this is honestly really, really a cracking whiskey, and I can't wait until the next vintage comes out. I am fortunate that Total Wines over here also stocks the contrast range, so I will probably try to get the organic and the unpeated, and possibly the heavily peated as well. I think they're all done at 46%, non-chill filtered and natural colour, so they could be good ones to explore, and they're not crazy expensive either. I think between $70 and $80 a bottle. So yeah, there you go. If you've never checked out Benromach before, please do. I think you're going to be in for a bit of an eye-opening experience. The next video is going to be an American single malt, so please look out for that. In the meantime, please like, please subscribe, please comment, please share as well. Definitely do the comment thing. I do like to engage with people. Hopefully you've found a new brand that you might be able to get into today. And also, if you would like to support me, I do have a buy me a coffee link in the description. You know, I am buying all this stuff off my own pocket, and any sort of support would be very much appreciated. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, guys, and until next time, have a great night. Sláinte.